Alright, so today we are talking about weave poles. I'm gonna use a method inspired by Susan Garret. This is a variation of 2x2 method. What I want you to stop thinking about is weave poles, and I want you to start thinking about an entry. So all we're teaching today to your dog is an entry. Or actually we're gonna teach your dog to look for 2 entries. And that's about the weave poles, and from now on weave poles are multiple entry points. So this is a 1 entry point here, and as you can imagine, if I added more of these pairs of weave poles, this would become 2 entries, 3 entries, 4 entries, and 6 entries would be 12 weave poles. So from now on we are going to think about entries and not weave poles. With this method, it's very easy to teach the dog to go in with 1 cue saying weave, and the dog will continue on going on until he can't find any more entries. And here comes our starting point. So I have placed the first entry and the second entry just behind the first entry, and I'm starting to teach Harry to go through those 2 entries. The dog will always need to be on the right side of your first entry, or your first entry needs to be on the left side of your dog. I'm rewarding to the plate, because what I don't want the dog to do is to come back to me after these poles. So I want the dog to learn straight away to go forward after he exits the poles. Here you can see Harry is testing different things. He's going from the wrong side, so I don't reward that, and I'm calling him back. Already from the beginning, I'm starting to teach him to go in from a little bit of a distance so that I'm not luring him through the whole entire time. So your very start can be luring, but you need to fade out that lure very, very soon. Now we are starting to get a little bit of enthusiasm, which I like. That means he's understanding what he's doing. I've kept the session short, and this here is a different session. I've moved the second entry just about an inch further away from the first entry compared to what you saw just a moment ago. And that way I'm starting to teach him that the entries are not right next to each other, and as you can see, he's again testing different things, going around sometimes, and only when he's doing the right thing, going through the 2 entries like this, a reward. So look, when we move forward, how little I move these poles. I literally move them 1 inch further, no more than that. Dogs learn in tiny, tiny small steps. So you're better off doing multiple sessions, short sessions, changing the poles only slightly each time rather than taking big leaps. This one was a very good session, and he was really getting the idea, and I was able to move those poles quite a lot in small little steps in this one session. Now this is a point where the entries are starting to be clearly away from each other, so that's where the dog really needs to start to understand it's looking for entries. No matter where the entries are, the dog will just look for the first entry, and then it'll look for the second entry, and then it will get rewarded. This, what he's doing here, is extremely typical in the process. So he's testing if he will get rewarded if he goes out from that wrong spot. And that's very important that you don't reward that behavior, but you only reward when he's going through the both entries. Whatever you reward, you reinforce.
Did you see your clock time?
11:44.
In this case, I didn't ask him to go through the entries, but he did. So I clicked and rewarded that one because we are practicing this behavior. So if he's just offering the behavior, I will definitely reward.
Harry, come here. Weave. Okay, let's
this is now a huge big step. So I've been moving them just straight back from the first entry, but now I'm starting to move the second entry sideways. So now the dog will start to think again a little differently, and they need to start to learn to look for the entry even if it's not lined up back to back with the first entry. Again, inch by inch. And here again you can see a little bit of confusion. So he's testing again because the second entry is in a strange spot. So he's making little mistakes and I need to help him out a little bit. So as you can see, I'm kind of guiding him with my body a little bit to go through the correct entries. But when you do that, it's important to fade out that guidance very soon as the dog starts to understand. This is very typical when the second entry start moving sideways, that the dog is a little confused, but it's important that the dog will learn to think for himself and learn to make that decision that what are the right entries to go through without any guidance. That way you get the solid behavior with this obstacle. When training a dog, this scratching behavior is very common when a dog is a little confused and perhaps a little frustrated and struggling a little bit. They often stop and they start scratching. So it just means that the dog is learning and it's confused. It doesn't quite understand what it's doing wrong and why it's not getting rewarded. Now, because we're really struggling, I decided to move the food bowl a little closer to the second entry and to see if that's going to help him. It seemed at first that it seemed to be helping, but then it turned out that he was just as confused as he always was. So I decided to take this thing a little step back. So that's something you need to do sometimes when you're trying to move forward. When the dog gets this confused, you need to take the training a few steps back and then restart moving forward. So maybe I took a too big step at some point, or for some reason it was just too big of a leap and he couldn't get it. So now we've just gone back a little bit with training so we can get him back on track. The way our entries are now, we got an entry here, and then the second entry is over there. So that's where we're gonna start today.
Wee. No, come back. Wee. Fine.
I missed a few sessions with my camera, so there's a bit of a leap right now where we are at, but we are starting to get this, so we have been moving a lot sideways now, as you can see.
Come here. Wee. Good boy. Katsotaan, jos saadaan kohta se. Pausita vaan vähäksi aikaa.
Now where we at, we got one entry. And we got second entry over there now. So I started moving them over this way. Now this second entry has been moved quite a lot sideways and perhaps a little closer in line with the first entry. So it's starting to kind of resemble a little bit like weave pose, but we're still looking for the entries. And he's doing all right in this session.
Good job. Okay, Harry. Wee. Yes.
So after each step, what you want to look at is this little bit of enthusiasm, tail starting to go, dog getting excited. If your dog seems extremely bored with the obstacle, it means that your dog doesn't understand what it's doing. Once it starts to understand, it starts to show enthusiasm. It looks like it's happy with itself. And now we are at the point that we are starting to make progress very quickly. So I almost got these poles now set up like we pose would be, and actually in this session we will get there in the end. So once when they are set up a little bit like they look in this video, you're very, very close.
Very good. Weave. Good boy. So supposed to have the poles now. So it goes to have them poles.
Yeah, they look fine. Well, yeah, there is.
Whoopsies. Whoopsies. Try again. Weave. Yes.
Good boy.
Come on. Weave. Weave. Up. Come back. Weave. Good. Let's see if we
That's a
can
good
actually
boy.
get. Let's have weave. Yay! Good boy. That's such a good boy.
And here we got it. Now he's got the poles, and now next step will be just to start building enthusiasm and making sure that we have consistency, and me starting to send him from
There we go.
a distance away.
Weave. Yes! Got it. He's actually got it. Okay. Weave. Yay!
And now that we have consistency, I've changed my reward to a toy, and we are starting to build speed.
Very nice. Come here. Ozzy, Ozzy.